Hello everybody, hello all, welcome back to Formula for Speed. I'm one of your hosts, Chad, and I'm here with my other lovely co-host, doing the best job she can, and she's very excellent at it. Please introduce yourself.
Hello!
This is the Babyface, and guys, we are back again. We're here. Turkey, Babyface?
Istanbul, yeah?
Istanbul. Guys, I kind of seem a little lackluster because my McLaren boys. I'm going to just start this off, Babyface. Not too happy with my McLaren boys' performance. I know they did not. This was not a track suited for our car.
Both of them?
Both of them. Danny Rick had issues with his brakes at the beginning, Babyface, and he took a new power unit. Lando didn't run all that great either. I mean, he ran okay, but he didn't run all that great. So we struggled today.
But what was the podium?
First of all, I want to give a shout out to Babyface's team. Of course, she wants me to say this. Valtteri Bottas. He won.
Whoop whoop!
Verstappen, then Perez.
Perez and Verstappen are on the podium at the same time for Red Bull.
For Red Bull.
Perez needed that.
Perez needed it. Guys, Babyface is not a Ferrari fan, but shout out to Leclerc. He ran a good race. Hamilton took a penalty. He got pole, but because he took the engine penalty, started 10th on the grid.
Yeah.
I thought Hamilton ran a good race. Babyface, let me know what you think. Guys, let us know in the comments what you think. I think he should have stayed on the intermediates instead of coming in because he went from 3rd to 5th. And if he would have stayed out, I believe he could have held on to at least 4th. Possibly 3rd, not sure, because I think he was losing over a second a lap to the two behind him because they had newer tires. So, yeah, I don't know if it would have made much of a difference. It was wet the whole day. It was kind of an ugly scene outside weather-wise. But then Gasly had a good race. Norris 7th. So I was happy with Norris finishing 7th. Sainz had a good race. He started from the back, ended up 8th. Unfortunately, I'll get to him. Stroll 9th, solid race. Ocon had a solid race for 10th. So that rounded out the points. I thought Giovinazzi was going to get some points, Babyface. I really did. I thought he was. He finished 11th. Raikkonen 12th. So back to back. Danny Rick. Now here is... I felt bad for Danny Rick, guys. Babyface, I'll let you know as well. I thought he was going to charge Ocon for 10th. He started complaining. I know the brakes were messed up. He starts saying his tires, the rear tires, were wearing. I'm guessing that's because of the brake issue, right? And so, out of nowhere, he gets dropped. He starts getting dropped. I mean, the two Alfa Romeos pass him. After that, Sonata, he had a spin. Alonso lost out huge today. They went 3 wide in the corner. So it was Perez, Gasly, and Alonso. And Gasly actually got a 5-second penalty.
Yeah.
I didn't agree with that one because I was like, that's a racing incident because Alonso did choose to go wide, 3 wide. He made that choice. And Gasly couldn't move any further to the left because Perez was on the inside. He would have crashed Perez. So the only course of action I seen him able to take was literally stay where he is. I didn't think it was unavoidable to me. Racing incidents. You guys let me know what you think in the comments about that. Alonso, spin. Latifi, Vettel tried slicks. Vettel tried slicks at one point in the race, guys. Mick and Mazepin. So, guys, that was where everyone finished. And again, I felt for my McLaren guys because I feel like Ferrari is they did say they were working on a unit, their engine unit, guys. And it should be finished around this race, I believe. I could be off a little bit, so correct me if I'm wrong. But they came back strong. They came back strong. So, Babyface, what you got? What you thinking?
So, the whole weekend was... It felt like an off weekend, frankly.
Yeah.
The Turkey Grand Prix started, for me, in qualifying when Danny Rick didn't make it out of Q3.
Yeah, he got caught behind a car. And then and that's why I was when gas queue up. He got caught behind the car.
So that was the shock factor for me for qualifying. Then Mick made it into Q2, also as a result of getting caught at the right time and a bit of traffic.
He got a break. Yeah,
that was kind of cool. Russell lost out because in the last turn leading up to the second flight,
he was pushing. Guys, if you didn't have a chance to watch qualifying,
he didn't really spin. He went off the track.
Yeah, guys, watch qualifying if you didn't get a chance to watch it. It was good.
On the other hand, Stroll also went off the track, but he was able to salvage his qualifying session. He made it.
He was.
So the qualifying was interesting to watch. Now, as the race started, turn 1, the first corner, Alonso spins because of the result of they were 3 cars deep. It was like you said, Perez, Gasly in the middle, Alonso. Gasly had nowhere to go. I agree with you 100%. And Alonso was the one that spun and then ended up tumbling all the way back.
He did.
To me, that was a racing incident, but the stewards thought it appropriate to give him a 5-second penalty.
Ooh,
Then Alonso, as he tries to come back, he then taps the back wheel of Mick and spins Mick. Then Alonso gets a 5-second penalty.
Right. They were on it today.
Alonso's race. That was it. Even with the 5-second penalty, it didn't ruin Gasly's race.
It didn't.
It really, really did not. Latifi also had a spin.
Yeah, he did.
Early on. Bottas had a great start, which that made me a bit nervous with Verstappen already at the start pointing his nose a little bit towards Bottas. I was worried because Bottas will sometimes lock up when he's under pressure.
Yeah.
Had a great start, ran with it. Solid race from him, which he ended up.
Man, he had a phenomenal. Bottas, he had a phenomenal race. Yeah, he had a phenomenal race.
In lap 14, Vettel and Sainz had some contact.
They did.
And this seemed to be the theme for the race. There was contact, there was some spinning, but no one crashed. We had no red flags.
None.
We had yellow flags, but they were just because someone spun and then they were able to make it back on the track. So overall, considering the conditions, it was actually a very clean race. Lap 15, Hamilton had worked his way up to 5th already.
Yeah, he was charging from the beginning.
Yes.
He was charging, guys. He was charging, and if you saw the race, he was charging.
Yes.
He was coming.
And he was pushing hard because those intermediates, by the time he made it,
they turned into slicks.
In lap 15, they were already starting to turn into slicks.
Yeah, they were starting to grain.
The first pit stop happened with Danny Rick in lap 22, where he put on new inters. The team came over the radio and said, how much faster do you think you can be if you had a new set of inters? He said pretty fast. He was in 16th at that point. That is when he started to pit. Sonoda in lap 23 spun. Again, he wasn't the only one because of the conditions. But it was very brief, short-lived, spun, got the car back on, no incident beyond that. Lap 34 and 35, we had some very thrilling Hamilton-Perez battling.
That was a good one. I was waiting for you to get to it. Guys, and let us know in the comments, how did you feel about that battle? I was excited to see that one. I was happy to see it.
Actually,
it was good.
If I could slide in a little slick remark to that.
What is that?
Verstappen could learn from Perez on that battle.
I've seen, and what's funny is, I've seen on a couple occasions this year, Hamilton and Lando, Hamilton and Alonso, now Hamilton and Perez. Hamilton normally does not hit people. So I've told people before, he's not a dirty... They tried to say he was a dirty driver. I'm like, he's not a dirty driver, man. It just showed this race. Now, they were driving, and Perez may have got pushed wide a little bit. Nobody crashed. No one crashed, so... It was good to see. I think everybody wanted to see that. It was good.
That was very good to see. And actually, also, truth be told, up until this season, Hamilton and Verstappen used to battle and not crash.
They did.
So hopefully we can return to the battling minus the crash.
Yeah, it'll be good.
Lap 37, Verstappen pits 2.1 seconds. Solid pit stop.
Man, that was phenomenal.
Lap 37 also Sainz pitted. 8.2 pit stop.
These new pit stop rules. guys. It is these new pit stop rules. They're ruining guys' races. They are.
Frankly, even though I'm not a Ferrari fan, that made me upset because Sainz, up until that point, was having a fantastic race.
He was.
He started all the way in the back.
He was, and he came back.
And he was picking his way through the field.
Mm-hmm.
So that 8.2 pit stop really sucked for him.
Yeah.
Really sucked. Then the big head scratcher for the whole race. Vettel comes in and puts on slick medium tires.
I think he was gambling. He was counting on the track drying up a lot sooner than what it did.
That was the most confusing thing.
He looked bad. When he got out there with those slicks, I was like... But he tried it. I guess he had nothing to lose at that point, so he tried it. Guys, if you saw what Vettel did in those slicks...
It looked like Lando Norris in Sochi.
In Sochi it did. He
was just slipping and sliding. Even when he came
Why
back...
did you have to bring that up?
Because he was dancing on ice skates.
Alright, yeah, you're right. You're right.
Even when he came back in, because he only did one lap in those slicks, when he came into the pit stop in the pit lane, it took all of a miracle for him not to crash into the pit lane entry, because he was slipping and sliding. It was a horrible idea. Leclerc, then, this was where the gambling started, and the beginning of the end for Mercedes, for me.
Yeah.
Bottas pits, Verstappen had pitted, so now Leclerc, who had been running quiet as it's kept, was running in third this whole time.
Yeah, he was running well.
He is now leading the Grand Prix. He has not pitted. He's still on those inters. He gets on the radio and asks, "Can I finish the race in these tires?" Yes.
Yep.
Okay. Now, I remember telling you, I don't think he has the skill yet to be able to finish the race in pole. He can finish the race on those tires, but I don't think he'll win the race.
Right.
He locks up.
He does.
And you see him struggling a little bit. Okay.
Yeah.
Then this is where and you remember me making a sly remark about this. Leclerc gets on the radio and asks them, "If I stay out, where can I expect to finish?"
They told him in front of Valtteri.
And they said, well, if you keep Valtteri, if you keep Bottas behind you in pole, duh.
Well, to be honest with you, and I'm sure you guys know what radio communication we're talking about, Charles Leclerc was basically asking, how much more life are in these tires? How much more can I get out of them?
Not just that, if I stay out, can I expect to be P2, P3?
If I choose not to pit, where will I finish? They only told him. I felt like he went through what Vettel went through last year when they were kind of done with Vettel. He's asking a basic question, and they're kind of like
when they completely forgot he was still out there and forgot to pit him.
Yeah, I don't know what that was about, but I think they missed the gist of what he was asking on that one.
At any rate, that then begged the question: Hamilton still hadn't pitted.
No.
Hamilton was running fourth at this point. Could he just finish the race without pitting? Because now, again, these inters were starting to look more like slicks.
When he was a third at one point.
Yeah.
He was a third at one point.
Then Leclerc pits.
Newer tires, yeah.
That is where Hamilton was in third. Now, Bottas is again leading the Grand Prix. He did before Leclerc pitted. Bottas and Verstappen did overtake Leclerc. Then Leclerc pitted. So now we have Bottas in front, Verstappen second, Hamilton was behind. Now the conversation starts. Should Hamilton stay out? Should he come in for new inters?
No.
At that point, he had about a 14-second gap to Perez. And there were about 10 laps left. Hamilton kept saying, I should stay out.
Yeah.
The engineer...
Yeah.
The team kept coming back going, we think you should pit. I should stay out. There was an ugly cloud coming. Given that Sochi had just happened...
They were worried.
Mercedes had gotten the last race call correct, and they saw what happened with Lando. They pushed for Hamilton to pit. In my opinion, this time around, Hamilton should have stayed out.
It was funny because I remember Jenson Button had stated along the lines of he believed he should have stayed out. I think everybody at that point kind of figured he should have stayed out, but Mercedes has a simulator, guys, which kind of can predict what they feel predict wherever you are at the time. They can kind of see where you're going to finish. I think Lewis should have stayed out. I think he would have probably finished at worst
fourth,
and he could have held on a third.
Yes,
but that's being a little at least fourth. So he lost out on probably 2 points. Okay, that's not...
Yeah, because he ended up finishing 5th.
Right.
But he could have finished 4th.
Yeah.
He ended up pitting lap 51 to close out the comment. The team ended up calling him in lap 51. He had a solid pit stop at 2.3. He came out behind Leclerc and Perez, and had Gasly on his tail, which again leads to the point, even with Gasly's 5-second penalty, he really didn't lose out much in this race. He had Gasly on his tail, breathing down his neck.
Yeah, because those tires had to stop graining so much.
Yeah.
The one who lost out on the first lap to me was Alonso. He never recovered from that spin, which makes sense. But my guys lost out, babyface. McLaren lost out big on this race to me because they're still third in the constructors, but Lando only finishing 7th, Leclerc 4th, Sainz was in the points. And if Sainz wouldn't have had a botched pit stop, I believe he would have finished ahead of Gasly and Norris. Honestly.
Yeah.
I believe he'd have beat our guys. So this is not it wasn't a strong track for my McLaren guys. I know we're going to come back strong next race. We have to. Because this is a tight battle between us and Ferrari. We're only separated by like 8 points in the constructors, guys. Let me know what you think. Who's your team? Who do you like? Babyface, for me, Hamilton and Verstappen this is what everyone wanted. A close championship fight, right?
Yeah.
So now they're separated by, let me look at the standings. I believe
6 points.
Right. 6.5. 6 points. 6 points. So to me that's nothing, right? That's really not that big of it. It is, but it's not. Because I think this is going to come down to the end. Us and Ferrari, I think it's going to come down to the end. I need Rick and Lando. Strong performances. But now with Ferrari having this updated power unit, which it seems to me they're pulling back stuff from 18 and 19. Because they got power now. I mean, honestly. Sainz, I know for a fact, would have finished probably... right behind Hamilton.
I agree.
And would have been right on Hamilton down at the end if he wouldn't have had a botched pit stop. So they got it. I mean, we luckily held him off with less points, but that's your gap right there. If you look at the standings, babyface, I'm looking at the constructors. They're behind by 8 points. Right? They're behind by 8 points. So I'm doing the math right now. Sainz only have 4. If he would have finished ahead of Gasly, he would have got 8th, right? That's 4 points right there. So it's just botched pit stops that helped us out.
Yeah.
But we can't have no more bad breaks, and Danny Rick has to be in the mix. It can't be Lando top 10, Danny Rick's not in the points at all. We have to have him, because these two Ferraris are going to be right there. Unless something happens where they crash or spin, bad pit stops, you can't count on that. They're going to be right there. So I'm like, man, this is tight. This is getting tight.
Yeah.
You and Red Bull are going to come down to the end.
I agree.
The two drivers. I think Bottas, and I told Babyface this, Bottas is going to be pivotal in this championship run. Because with Hamilton already serving that penalty, I think Mercedes is back. I think those two are going to work as a team. And if Perez doesn't keep himself consistently up there with those two Mercedes, Max is not going to get it. Red Bull's going to lose again this year.
Yeah, and Perez needed this race because ever since he signed his extension, he hasn't been performing. And so for him to end up on the podium with Max, that is what Red Bull has been gunning for. That is what they haven't had since Danny Rick and Max days. So good for him, quiet as it's kept too. Giovinazzi had a good race.
Giovinazzi had an excellent race. And he was fighting for the points to the very end. He was this close.
You know who else drove very well that I'm low-key a bit impressed with? Sonoda had a good race.
He had a good race.
He kept his little battle with Hamilton and everybody else. He kept that very clean.
Two things I want to bring up, though. I'm going to be honest with you. Guys, I'm going to say this. Mazepin is going to cause one of the front runners a race one day. I don't know if you guys saw this incident. And I know it's coming. Hamilton... They raved the blue flag at Mazepin, right? He should have moved. He darts right back on the racing line. If Hamilton didn't back off, his race is done. He crashes. I don't know what this kid is doing, man. This is not the first time he's done this. He's always doing some suspect moves that can cause guys to race. He does this. He did it to his teammate. And I'm like, I don't know what's going on with him. I think he's always been like this, but he's gonna, mark my words, he's gonna cost somebody a race. It's gonna be important. I think Hamilton knows what he's going up against him. I think Verstappen knows what to do. Guys like Perez and maybe Bottas, I think somebody needs to tell them, if you see a blue flag and you're behind him, give him a little space, because he'll jump right back on the racing line as if he's contending and will possibly crash you, you know?
He already is the least popular driver on the grid. He's not doing his reputation any favors by doing those moves.
No. And the second thing is, let's just be clear. Hamilton was on pole, right? So if they didn't give penalties out for taking units, it'd have been a Mercedes one too.
It would have been, yeah.
So I think this is going to be exciting. I think this is what everybody wanted. Mercedes, to me, and I told Babyface this, guys, and let me know what you think. Mercedes, to me, purposely waited for Red Bull to do their upgrades first to kind of see what they were going to do. They waited, and now they're like, okay, we have the pace. Because Red Bull had, at the beginning, they were dominating, to me. So we got to see how this ends up. But I want to see my McLaren boys in Texas do well. I'm a little worried, Babyface. Guys, I'm worried about, because Ferrari seems to have a pace that it's strong.
So what do you think the top 5 for Texas will be?
Man, I don't know. That is tough. The two Mercedes, possibly 2 Red Bulls, and maybe Gasly. If you swap out a Red Bull and Perez and put Gasly there, Gasly and maybe Norris. Right?
I wager both Mercedes, Verstappen, Norris, and a Ferrari.
And let me take that back. Oddly enough, if Ferrari has the pace I think they have, guys, give me 2 Mercedes, Verstappen, 4th place, give me Leclerc. Honestly, because I think that pace is there. Possibly Perez 5th or Norris. I think Ferrari has pace, and I think they have a lot of it.
Yeah.
They have magically, since last year, I feel like they brought back something from 18 and 19, mixed it with 21, and now we have a great car again. I don't know.
I agree with you, but I will leave it at that with my conspiracy theories.
I think they got pace, and the reason why I'm focused on Ferrari, guys, of course, I'm a McLaren fan. That's who we're battling for best of the rest. We're only separated by 8 points, so it's going to come to it's getting tight. The X factor for that battle for me, Danny Rick has to come strong, because Sainz is not going to back off. Leclerc is going to race solid. Those 2 drivers are going to be solid. Danny Rick has to come strong for the rest of the season. In order for us to get best of the rest, he has to come strong. I think Lando's going to do his thing. So he has to come strong. That's my thoughts on it. Again, congratulations to Bottas, who is now back with confidence. I think Red Bull... The reason why I think this is good for Mercedes, and guys, let me know in the comments if you disagree. Bottas getting this confidence, proving he still has it, is going to allow him to play a pivotal role in the battles to come for the rest of the season with Mercedes and Red Bull. I think Lewis is going to get the help that he needs. And Verstappen is going to have to, they're going to have to tell Perez, you cannot be out the top 5 for the rest of the season. You've got to be up there actually top 4 for the rest in order for us to have a chance. Because you guys are beating them by 30 to 40 points in the constructors?
Yes.
They're losing. So Perez has to finish strong. Stronger than what he's been doing. Just like Danny Rick. For me, Danny Rick got a win, so that helps. And I knew McLaren was not going to do well at this track because it's not suited for our car. Too many long to medium corners.
Yeah.
Right? So we're not going to do well. But it's going to be a battle. I think it's going to be a battle. So we'll see. Babyface, any final thoughts? What do you think?
No, I'm actually looking forward to...
Texas.
Yeah,
me too.
Because I'd like to see how this championship keeps unfolding.
Yeah. I think this is what F1 wanted.
Yeah.
All the fans are whining it was boring. You can't say it's boring now. Because all season, Lewis and Max have been right here. I mean,
Pretty much.
they've been neck and neck. So we'll see. Babyface, I'm looking forward to it. Guys, let us know in the comments. Who's your team? Who do you like? What's your predictions? How do you feel about newfound pace that Ferrari has? AlphaTauri is another X Factor team to me, and we can do a Let's Talk About it and talk about them because Gasly's racing phenomenal.
Yes, he is.
I'm going to point that out. Gasly's racing phenomenal. I want to talk about Giovinazzi, actually, because I think he's doing everything he can to keep that seat, and I think he's doing a good job.
Yeah, now that you've pointed it out, I think he does deserve to keep that seat.
I think he's doing a good enough job with that car.
With the car that he has.
He's been given, yeah. So I want to see it. So yeah, that's what I think. Guys, let us know what you think. Again, this is Formula for Speed. We appreciate you tuning in. Please like, share, and subscribe. We'll see you for Texas.
Bye!